welcome back. Many thanks for staying with us. Now, residents of New Obuasi, formerly Denchwa Obuasi in the Upper Denchwa West District of the Central Region, are pleading for forgiveness from the immediate family of the late Major Mahama and Ghanaians for their actions, which led to the death of the army officer. Residents have promised never to repeat the act. Traditional authorities, led by Chief Linguist Nana Kwabna Asari, poured libations at the site where the late Major took his last breath to mark the one-year anniversary after the lynching. My colleague Ohimi Interior joins me on the phone with more. Hello, Ohimi. Well, it seems that we've lost Ohimi on the line, but we'll get Ohimi. Ohimi has also been in the town and spoken with some of the people. We'll be bringing you those interviews in a short while. Currently underway is an event by government to cut the sword for the construction of a monument in memory of the slain soldier. My colleague Nancy Emefa Dradosi is at the sword cutting ceremony and joins us live with some updates. Hello, Emefa.
Hello.
Emefa, where exactly is this monument being erected? Describe to us the nature of the monument if you have seen it.
All right, so this monument will be constructed on the Airport Hills roundabout, what the Airport Hills estate is. Just the roundabout there. That is where this monument will be erected. Now, this monument comes with the image, how do I put it? Yeah, the photo of Major Maxwell Mahama, erect with his left hand putting out a sign that stop. And they explained to us that the stop meant that this put a stop to mob justice. And so just beneath this structure of the late Major Mahama are inscriptions, the biography of the late soldier, and then how the incident happened. Everything has been described beautifully, inscribed beautifully on this particular monument. And so that is how I can describe this monument. But it's actually a very beautiful artifact that explains everything that's happened. And at the end of this, if you look at it, you go with the impression that there's a need for us to put an end to instant justice.
Well, what is happening at the moment? And we're seeing a picture of what you just described, but of course, it's just a picture of the monument. There isn't anybody around. So tell us what's happening at the moment, Emefa.
So the event has officially ended. We had the Minister for Interior for Defense, Dominic Mitterrand. He's actually pleading with the parents and the family of the late soldier to exercise patience, because if you remember, the father for several months now has been complaining about how slowly the wheels of justice is grinding and how he wants the perpetrators brought to book. But then the minister mentioned that there was a need for us to take our time and then have exercise patience and see that the perpetrators be brought to book. He promised that the law will take course. So basically, we had, the Chief of Defense staff present, everybody in all the speeches that were read out. There's one thing that's run through, and an end to stop mob justice.
Emefa, thank you very much for that update. We'll be getting back to you as and when it becomes necessary. Nancy Emefa Dradosi there, who's at the sword cutting ceremony to review or unveil that monument for Captain Mahama. Now, let's go back to that previous story where the family of the late Maxwell Mahama are still praying that justice is served until all perpetrators are brought to book. Speaking to journalists after a wreath-laying ceremony at the Usu Military Cemetery this morning, father of the late soldier noted that the family has yet to come to terms with the gruesome murder. Nancy Emefa Dradosi again.
Today, family, friends of the late Major Maxwell Mahama remember him when just a year ago he was gruesomely murdered at Denchwa Obuasi by a mob. And the tears were just uncontrollable. The father says he hopes justice is served, though he broke down in the middle of this interview.
Today marks the 1 year. But, since 29th May 2017, when he died, it has always been the pain has always been the same. And today, it's as if it happened even today. We are still in pain. And we pray that justice should take its course until all the mob, all the mob is here.
There are friends who become brothers, and that was who Francis Dufe Jr. was to the late Major Maxwell Mahama. He says he still remembers him, and he hopes the justice that is grinding slowly at this point will pick up fast so that the perpetrators of this crime will be brought to book.
I still feel the same way I felt the very day I was informed, because we spoke the previous day around 7, and he told me we'll be back soon, so whatever we had planned, we'll just take it off from that point. And just to be told the following evening when I got back from work that my brother, my friend, is no longer alive. That very moment, I called his number over and over just to be sure. But he never picked. I just pray things will go as I wish, that all those people will be dealt with.
That is the remembrance ceremony earlier this morning in honor of Major Mahama. But let's return to that previous story, and we're going to New Obuasi, formerly Dentro Obuasi, where the major was killed. Today they've been holding some ceremonies, and indeed they've been asking for forgiveness from the family of the late Major Mahama. As you heard, the family, they have yet to come to terms with his demise. Ohim Interior is in New Obuasi. Let's get on the telephone lines now and speak to him. Hello, Ohim.
Legacy.
Ohim, tell us a bit of the ceremonies, or if you like, what the people of Dentro Obuasi, now New Obuasi, have been doing since morning in commemoration of this very sad incident.
Thank you, Legacy. Initially, the residents of New Obuasi had no plan to observe the day in any special way. They thought that they could do so in their home. But just as yesterday, they took a decision, and that decision was to hold a ceremony in memory of one of their own. They use the word one of their own because they believe that the late Major Maxwell Adam Mahama was killed on their land, and while on the workhouse, so they consider him as one of residents of the Obuasi. So what actually happened this morning was first, elders of the community, led by the chief linguist, Nana Kwabinasari, walked straight to the exact spot behind or the outyard of one of the buildings in the community where the late military officer was lynched, and also clubbed by a resident of New Obuasi, and had his blood spilled on the particular wall. So at this point, the chief linguist poured libation and called on the ancestors and the spirits or the gods to intercede on their behalf, because according to him, the people of New Obuasi have committed a crime that will forever live with them. So he also pleaded on behalf of the community so that the gods will also forgive them, and also seek forgiveness from the family of the late Major Mahama, especially the immediate family. I'm talking about the wife and children, and also called on Ghanaians to also forgive them. And after that, the elders walked back to the community where a gathering from all the residents took place. So, clad in red and black cloth, they wailed and also expressed their emotions
right.
at what has happened.
Those who have been arrested, they all come from this place, and I believe that they have family there as well. Did you get the slightest indication of what the families of those who have been arrested in connection with this death have been saying, how they feel?
Unfortunately, when I approached one of them, the father of William Ba, the assemblyman for New Obuasi, who is believed to have masterminded the attack on the late military officer, he actually declined to comment on the issue. But you could also feel from the words of the chief linguist, who also told or asked the gods that those who have been arrested and are innocent, the gods should also intercede on their behalf so that they will be set free. They believe that the assemblyman, though he was first to receive the call from the women who were trading along the Diasu de Obuasi road, after that time, he was innocent because he left the scene to report the incident to police. And so they believe that some of the residents who have been arrested are innocent, just that they call it the accident. So they wouldn't want to comment on the issue. But another important aspect of today's event was the fact that residents still believe that the military could also come back to the community to carry out reprisal attacks, today being the 1-year anniversary. So even in the community, there were believed that people left the community last night just to take shelter somewhere in order to avoid the attack from the military.
But they're saying that they live in fear because there are threats that soldiers will come and beat them up. But do they have any such experience that they can report of?
Not exactly, apart from what happened on 30th July 2017, a day after the incident when the late military officer was killed. The military stormed the community in a dawn swoop where they moved from house to house and also picked residents who at that time were asleep. And so after that, they have been living in fear. Anytime, by the slightest scene of a helicopter in the community or just above the community, you see residents running to safety or running shelter. So that has been the situation.
Okay. I'm
told just recently, a helicopter that was supposed to have landed at Diasu, the district capital, unfortunately landed at the Obuasi or New Obuasi, and many residents flee the scene or flee the community into nearby bushes. And so they have been they are so haunted by the fact that the military at any point in time can come over them, knowing very well that not any other officer than a detachment commander was killed or murdered by residents in that manner.
They're asking for forgiveness from the family, but it's been almost a year now. Within that period, have they reached out to the family?
They haven't made any effort to reach out to the family, but I'm told that the traditional council will, this week meet President Kufuor to convey a special message to the president, and also that special occasion, the chiefs will use that opportunity to also tell the president that the president should intervene on behalf of the Jamaica because they believe that the incident that happened at New Obuasi affects the entire Jamaica, with the district, the capital, the traditional capital at Dunkwao. So the traditional leaders within this enclave, I'm talking about the Inja, they believe that they are part of this problem. And coincidentally, the chief of New Obuasi or the Inja Obuasi is currently the acting president of the Inja Traditional Council. So you could see where the link or the connection is coming from. And they believe that when they meet the president, they will want to take advantage of that meeting to plead with the president so that they meet the family of the late Major Adam Mahama.
Right. Finally, Ohime, before I let you go, what is happening right now in Dentra or New Obuasi as we speak?
it's common to see people in this community clad in red and black cloth. That is the practice since this morning that I entered this community. Almost everybody you see on the streets of the community is in red and black. And today should have been a working day for them. Majority of them are farmers. But because of today's occasion, how special it is to them, they are home. So you see them in groups 2 or 3 or 4, discussing one issue or the other. So it's been a special day for the people of New Obuasi. Just that they believe that at any point in time, they could be, pursued by the military. Right. That has been the notion.
Ohiming, thank you very much for that update. Ohiming Terrier there in Dentro Obuasi, now New Obuasi, where Major Mahama died. Speaking of where he died in Dentro Obuasi and being on this story, let's have a look at events that unfolded since the demise of late Major Mahama. Take a look at this infographics and let me go through them for you as we go along. A soldier's lynching, that's the caption, of course, we say from May 29, 2017, the soldier was lynched by the mob at Dentro Obuasi, and May 31st, 2017, the police arrested 50 persons. Fast forward to June 5, 2017, the police arrested 8 more, bringing the number to a total of 58. By June 21, 2017, the 58 persons were charged with murder and conspiracy to commit murder. Now, the court on the same day discharged 26. Other suspects were also discharged, leaving 14 persons before the court. Now, if you follow what the family has been saying so far, the father especially is not impressed about the number of people who are standing trial. From 50 to about 14, the father thinks that there are a lot more people who may have been involved in this, and those people should be tracked. So that's a bit of information on that for you. By January 11, 2018, the district courts committed 14 to trial at an Accra High Court, and these are the charges that are being leveled against those 14. We're looking at murder, and of course a human being has died, so you're looking at murder, and then you're looking at conspiracy to commit murder. Let's look at the trial judge and who she is. Mariama Owusu is the Justice of the Court of Appeal, sitting in as additional High Court judge. She is the person taking charge of this particular case. What is the case that the Republic is advancing? It says that Justice of the Court. Okay, now let's look at the case. The case that the Republic is making against these people who have been arrested. The state said it is going to be relying on 15 witnesses. So you've seen the judge, and you've seen that what they are going to rely on, these 15 witnesses that they have to deal with this case. They're looking at 53 exhibits that will be used, and that includes forensic reports, post-mortem reports of the deceased, which also became an issue, quite an issue some time ago, and video recordings, which of course went viral, some of which went viral, and 2 single-barrel shotguns, a 6-inch cement block, and a partly burnt shed. If you remember those pictures when he died, there appears to be a woman who was standing on top of the body with matches and what looked like a matches in his hand. So these are some of the exhibits that they will be putting before the court as exhibit. What is the defense doing? Now, all 14 who have been arrested and charged have pleaded not guilty. If you remember also, the case has been quite dramatic when at a point the court was unable to assemble a jury for it. Most of the members that were appointed or that got selected to be on the jury rejected it, some at the point of tears, and it was quite dramatic. But it's moving on, even though still after a year, it appears that the trial is still at the very early or starting stage.